Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of my outer hidden pee well pocket diaper tutorial. So the next step after you get all your snaps on is to lay your pieces out and get ready for your to stitch them all together. Now, this is really important that you really pay attention to this part, because if you mess it up, it takes a long time to undo all your stitching. So you want to make sure that you have your fabrics in the right order. And I bet you I'll mess it up on camera here for you, because that would be just like me. So basically you want to have all your layers facing in. And because you have a hidden layer of PUL, it makes it a little bit more, I wouldn't say it makes it more complicated, but you just got to really pay attention to what you're doing, so you don't mess it up. So basically, if this is your outer, you want to have that facing up. Underneath of that, you want to have your PUL. And you want to make sure that your shiny side is face down. And your fabric side, I don't know if you can see a difference on my phone, probably not. Yeah, there we go. This is the shiny side. This is the side that has the coating on it, and this is the fabric side. You want to make sure the fabric side is face up. So technically that would be your first layer that you put down. So the first layer you put down, you want to make sure you do shiny side face down, fabric side face up. So you lay that down. Then next you want to take your outer cotton material and you want to lay that on top with your print face up. So you do that. You lay that right on top of it. And I'm not going to be able to do this one with one hand, but you want to make sure that they're nice and even. And then after you've got that one put down on top, then you want to take your inner. Now the inner material is a little bit more work because, like I said, it's a pocket. So you've actually got two pieces. And you need to think about this also as what piece you want on the outside. So this is where it gets kind of complicated, because you want your piece that goes on the outside, like your pocket opening piece, I guess. You want that piece to go down first, and you want to make sure that you have it the right way also. Now, if you remember, you want right sides facing in. Excuse me. So you don't want it like this. You actually want it flipped. Like that. Sorry, hold on. Like this. So that once you stitch all the way around, and then you go to flip it right side out, you have this piece on your outside, and then this would be the next piece showing on the inside fabric, making sure that that is face down. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. And then the next piece that you want to add is the last piece of your pocket. Same thing, you want to make sure that this is facing, like your good side is facing down towards your print. So that would go like this. Like that. It's a little bit confusing, but once you figure it all out, it's not that bad. So that's the order you want things. You want to start with your PUL, shiny side down, so good side facing up. Then you want your outer fabric next, again, good side up. Then you want the two pieces of your inner fabric facing down, so that when you go to turn it all inside out through your pocket opening here, all your pieces are facing the right way. This is why it gets kind of confusing. And then again, you want to make sure that your pocket openings, the rough edges, not the nice edges, are facing up, because this is the inside of the diaper technically. So basically all you have to do is do a normal top stitch, a straight stitch, all the way around here. Some people will pin. I don't pin. I use paper clips because I don't want to put holes in my PUL. So I paper clip all the way around the outside, making sure that all my layers are nice and as even as I can get them. And then I top stitch, or sorry, not top stitch, I straight stitch that one. Straight stitch all the way around the outside, leaving, I don't know, how much is that? 1/4 inch seam allowance around the outside. So I'll do that and then we'll come back. Okay, so I have sewn all the way around the outside through. Make sure you go through all 3 layers. And as long as you've gone through all 3 layers, you shouldn't have any issues. You want to be careful going over this spot. Make sure it stays flat. And that's basically it. So once you get done that, the next step is to trim all your edges. So you don't want to go too close, obviously, because you don't want to go too close to the stitches and have it unravel on you when you turn it right side out. So you want to just trim enough so that when you do turn it inside out, your corners aren't super bulky. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've trimmed all my edges, and I don't know if you can see, you don't want to go too close, but just close enough that when you turn it right side out, especially at the corners, there's not going to be too much extra bulk there, you know, making those corners hard to work with when you do your top stitching. So the next step is to use your pocket opening and turn it right side out. And then once you do that, you want to mark your elastic casings, where your start and stop is for your elastic casings. So I'll turn it inside out, and then I'll come back to show you how I do that. Alright, so when you turn it right side out, what you should have is your inner now facing the right way. You should have your nice finished edge facing up of your pocket. Your next pocket opening inside, you want to have the same thing, a nice finished edge facing up, and then if you did it all properly, that'll be good, and your outer fabric will be facing out. So yeah, that is how you know if you did it properly. Also, your PUL obviously should be inside of there. So next step is to mark where your elastic casings are going to go. I like to do mine on the outside just because then I can see what the finished line is going to look like. And I make sure to use, I use these chalk pencils, so it comes right off in the wash or in the dryer. It'll come off really fast. It's just chalk. So I use that. What you want to do is take your pattern and sort of lay it on top. It doesn't need to really be exact, in my opinion, but you want to kind of make it even, obviously, as even as you can, and then you mark out where your stop and start and stop points are onto your fabric. You just want to make a little line on each side of where your elastic casings are, and you want to do that for the back and for the legs. So I'll do that and we'll come back. Okay, so I've got my elastic marks with my chalk marked down where I want my start to be for my elastic casing and for my end to be for my elastic casing. And I also have that for my leg elastics. So what you want to do basically is with your machine, go ahead and straight stitch along here, creating kind of a tube up here. And what you want to make sure you do is you don't make it any thinner than the width of your elastic. I usually make it exactly because the elastic gets stretched and I like mine to be pretty tight. So yeah, I usually make it the exact width of my elastic and stitch all the way down from one line to the next line and do the same thing for your leg. So I'll do that and we'll come back.